That's goodbye to St Agnes. Anchorage here was good, it was a bit rolly in the 2 nights we were here. And it's also goodbye to the Scillies, which we've loved. Great place to come and cruise. We had a couple of nice anchorages and the islands are fantastic. Definitely recommend it to anybody who wanted to cruise this way.
Back to mainland, back to Penzance today.
And that's the Scillies Isle pennant going away. We had that out for quite a while, so it's looking a bit battered from the storms on the Scillies. This is approaching Wolf Rock. Pretty lonely spot out here. Got a lot of tide pushing us past.
So coming around to smuggling country, because there's a nice cave. So we're going up around that corner, up to Mousehole for lunch. Okay, this is Mousehole. They've got a big wooden double-master type fishing vessel regatta on.
As we got closer to Mousehole, we saw more and more wooden classic vessels. After lunch we sat and watched the fleet of classic vessels come in and anchor past us, and some that we'd seen in the Scillies. Decided to come back later and see what was going on at Mousehole in this classic traditional wooden boat festival. We set off to go to Penzance. Penzance is a traditional seafaring town with windy ways and passages.
I think we're a bit little next to the other two. The middle one apparently is 100 feet, and the inside one I'm not sure.
So the gist of this is that the pool was opened in 1935 and it's been used for over 80 years. It was damaged badly in February 2014 by a storm, but it's all been rebuilt and it looks like it's going from strength to strength by the look of it. The Penlee lifeboat disaster happened in 1981 when the lifeboat went out to the Solomon Brown and 8 lifeboatmen and 8 crew lost their lives. This is Penlee Lifeboat House, where the lifeboat involved in the Penlee disaster was housed, I guess. Looks pretty benign out there at the moment, but I'm sure on the night they were out there it wasn't. As we scooted along towards Mousehole, we saw more and more traditional vessels all sailing about. Some were involved in racing, some were just in the harbour, and some were just having fun.
Stop your mast! Top your mast!
All along the shore were craft stalls, beer tents, and we went ashore and had a traditional Cornish cream tea. And the lighthouse at the end of Penzance Pier. Yeah, it's quite breezy offshore. We're hoping to anchor over there at St Michael's Mount tomorrow night. Us is leaving Penzance Harbour. We had a good time here, it's quite a good harbour. Apart from the fact you're alongside, there's no berths as such. Pretty good. The Salonian all ready to go to the Scillies. Entrance into the harbour is quite good, but you go around this corner here beside the Salonian if she's in. The right hand side there, starboard side, is a drying harbour. There are a number of mooring buoys off the harbour as well, so you can always go there if you need to. That's Newlyn, which is pretty much joined to Penzance, both got harbours. And that's where we're heading today, Michael's Mount. Don't see any boats moored in there, but that's our plan. So we're going to anchor over here somewhere. There's a little anchorage. Not a bad view from the aft of the boat. We're anchored off St Michael's Mount. I'm going to go and have a look in there in a few minutes' time.
We've just come in there, leaving the dinghy down there.
Quite an easy entrance, just have to watch out for the local tour boats. I think they're called puddles or something. They're champing at the bits to get moving. Aequitas anchored off St Michael's Mount. Penzance and then Newlyn we've been to, and we've also been to Mousehole on the scoots. The island's been serviced by a number of amphibious vehicles. This is just the latest one, the St Michael.
They're the Triffids again. Everything is such on a massive scale. Look at the size of those on there. Quite spectacular.
Passage is round this headland over here. Tomorrow. So hoping for some reasonable wind. A young pirate eyeing up the enemy. Still nobody on the mooring with us.
No, really no mates out there.
Encyclopedia Britannica. We used to have a set of those at home. There's a double glazing here. This is traditional ladies' sailing wear. Memorabilia in the castle, including a letter from Napoleon. I understand why it was an important fortification, because there's basically Land's End. Any fleets coming up from the channel, and that's heading down into the channel, so you could see everything that was going on here. Causeway just underwater still, but won't be long before it dries. Love the colours in this stained glass window. So this is Land's End in 1607, with the various names of rocks and points and bays around it. Penzance is in there, and Michael's Mount. This is 1612, showing the Scillies called the Swallings. And you can see how St Michael's Mount was a very important place by the size of it on the map. Interestingly, St Ives is here, so names have changed over the years. I don't know what was going on in the channel at that time, but there's lots of mystical creatures. There are a number of navigation charts on the walls of the castle, and it's interesting to see how basic the information was for people who travelled around the Land's End area at the time. Yeah, keeping your hair in control is not...
It doesn't work.
Potted a giant stone heart. Causeway is cleared, so foot traffic is now underway. I found my own quiet little spot here in the gardens. Beautiful gardens. Castle explored, we took the trip back across the causeway to the mainland. Well, are we on the rocks? I don't think so. There's a nice little mooring just beyond here, anchorage beyond here. So we're up. And the wind's pretty mild, so we thought we'd anchor off. There's a few rainstorms in the distance towards Land's End there, but I think we're safe enough where we are. That's us leaving St Michael's Mount this morning. It's been pretty good here. Wind's from the north, so it's a kind of an offshore breeze coming from the kind of Penzance area, and it's been quite comfortable. But there has been a slight swell coming in from this way, from I guess the southwest, and that makes it slightly rolly when the boat turns without wind. So, lizard in very benign conditions. Off going around the lizard today.
Extremely.
Yeah, it looks like it. You're trying to get a suntan as you go around the corner here.
Well, if the sun's out, it'll be alright.
A little bit of a swell, but that's about it, isn't it?
Oh, it's pretty benign.
This can be a really,
To go around it.
yeah, it could be a really nasty corner, this, but we've been lucky. This was Mary's choice of anchorage, and she picked a really good anchorage here. Although I must admit, I didn't think it was going to be great, but it turned out to be a fantastic anchorage around the corner from the lizard. The lizard has a fearsome reputation for shipwrecks.
So right down in the far distance, that's my finger, it's Land's End. We were around in that bay around there in St Michael's Mount. This is the lighthouse, which we're going to have a look round.
That's the reason the lizard gets its name, all these rocks up here. Treacherous currents. Nice today. Having had a long walk, time for a pint and a look at the good ship Aequitas sitting in the bay below us. See how close we were to the lizard. So we just left Mousehole Bay. Lovely morning this morning. Boat's romping along doing 7.9 knots, close hauled. So we're heading to where we're going, Halford River today. We've not been there before. It's supposed to be very nice, and we should be there in, well, probably about an hour and a half, because it's only about 10 miles. Have a good night's sleep?
Not particularly. Some tankers or whatever going past with foghorns going. So it must have been foggy around the lizard last night.
All right. We're quite close to Falmouth River now. We're just about to tack. We're going through a place called the Wrigglers. I don't know what that's about. Maybe there's some wiggly worms down there or something. This is our view going into the Helford River. Quite a bit of traffic, but there's a few visitors. Moorings free, so we're hoping that's going to be fine for us for a couple of days. So what sort of a day have we had this morning?
Very good.
Nice
sail.
Nice sail, yeah. 20 knots of breeze at times. Now we're down to, what, 15? 14, 15. This is what greeted us coming into Halford. It was a little bit worrying. So this is the western mooring field at Halford. We're in the middle of that group. Apparently you can pay your mooring fares here. Done some shopping in a local shop. We took a walk along the coastline. Beautiful along there. So we're just looking at this machine here, which could be for crushing something, maybe sugar beet or something. Maybe it's mangle wurzels, washing mangle for drying your clothes out, squeezing your clothes out. This one is as well. The following day turned out to be a nice sunny day, so we decided to do a bit of a dinghy explore around all the little creeks up the Halford River. Some very fine houses up on the sides of the various creeks, but then later we took a trip down Frenchman's Creek, which is devoid of any housing. I think it's a nature reserve, and fantastic. So herons on the shore, and the land is obviously managed so for nature. A lovely morning on Helford. We're heading out though. Had a couple of days here, a couple of nights, very nice. But we're going to Falmouth, and then we're going to see if we can actually find a berth there. So we've got to drop the chain off here. They're a bit messy. The chain system they've got here is all rusty, and you'd have thought they'd have had strops on it, but maybe these are stronger. Anyway, we're going to let this drop and we'll be away. It was a bit tricky. We let the chain go, and then because, well, there's so much pressure on the chain because of the current, had to go forward, and the buoy went down one side of the boat and the pennant went down the other side, and we got kind of trapped till the current washed us clear of the buoy. So what does the captain have to say today?
We're off to Falmouth.
Okay, and we've got nowhere to stay tonight, have we?
Not at the moment.
So we'll find somewhere. We'll either anchor or we'll go on a buoy or do something. We'll see how we get on.
We need fuel and water.
We do indeed. We're not really.
A bit of shopping.
Yeah, and a bit of shopping, yeah. This is probably the only inlet on the Cornish coast that doesn't have a marina in it. This is pretty much full of boats, and you normally have to raft if you come in here on one of the, in the height of the season, on one of the green. There's a sailing club over there. I've been in there a couple of times, and there's a pub, the Shipwrights Arms I think it is, and a shop over there, and then there's also a nice pub over there. We had a meal there yesterday lunchtime. It's quite nice. I didn't see a shop in there. There probably is, but there's lots of beautiful houses hidden in the trees. It's hard to find your way around because it's all little tiny roads and back and lanes and things. Well, it's a glassy sea today, no appreciable wind at all, so we're motoring up to Falmouth. Can't get into any of the marinas, but we're probably going to anchor at St Mawes, which is over there, or in against the Haven Marina. There's an anchorage there as well. Doesn't get much more glassy than that. Cornish flag flapping in the breeze. Our main sailing club one's looking a bit tatty, I'm afraid. I'm trying to get a new one, but I haven't managed to get that yet. So I had a look in St Mawes. There's a possible anchorage that looks okay in there. I think there's anchoring on the left here, and then also over to the right along the forest line there.
I can't believe we've actually taken the sides off canopy for the first time.
Canopy, we've got the sides off.
Well, the second time this year.
So we're not being wimpy sailors at the moment.
No, it's nice today.
So for the first time in ages, well, no, I think we have had them off once, and then quickly put them back on again when the temperature plummeted. So we're hoping to have a day of sailing, well, motoring with the sides down. So we're heading into Falmouth, past Penzance shipyard with a few naval vessels in, and yeah, it's pretty chock-a-block with vessels as it was the last time we were here. Nevertheless, Falmouth's quite a nice place to go around. So the harbour area opens up after the Penzance shipyard. That's Penzance Marina, and then we're going up to the fuel berth, which is over there and amongst that cluster of yachts. Having got moored, we took a trip ashore to have a look around the shopping areas. This is our pasty shop, and this is the chimney that they destroyed all the contraband tobacco in. We spotted one of the wet wheels boats in Falmouth Harbour. Dock area for Falmouth, where the dry docks are, and up onto the headland beyond that where the castle is. Beautiful castle, lots of features that have come in over the years.
So this is the castle, and the bit that's from here this way was added on at a later date.
It was a very hot day, and the coolest place was actually in this long tunnel. That's the entrance into the Fal. Followed the guided tour around the castle, which was very interesting. Meanwhile, the castle was being decorated for a wedding. This is the range firing battery. Telephones, all mud cons with heater.
Okay, I hope you enjoyed the video.
Yeah, we're struggling to get the light here, so the sun's going down. So we were in Cornwall not long ago, Well, it seems like
nice.
ages
After
ago.
Sillies, we came back to Mousehole.
Yeah.
I saw all the big boats coming in, which was good fun.
Yeah, Mousehole was good. The traditional boat festival, I thought was a good, especially as it was kind of a bit of a surprise. We didn't realise quite how many boats were going to be there.
But then we took the scoots round there the next day to go and watch it, which was good fun.
And Michael's Mount was excellent.
That was good fun as
Definitely
well.
worth a visit. There's a lot of steps to climb, but the gardens are beautiful. And we left there and went down to Halford River.
Halford River.
Not been there before,
No.
and that was spectacular. The greenery and things up the little creeks was great. Lots of beautiful houses tucked away in the trees, and a good anchorage because there's no marina in there. You have to mooring buoys or anchor somewhere.
Good.
And then we left there, headed off Falmouth. Falmouth.
I was going to say it wasn't
Yeah, we're in
Falmouth
Falmouth.
on this one.
Been in Falmouth before. It's a kind of typical mariner's port, or originally was. Big docks there now.
The old dry docks.
Dry docks are there, and the castle was interesting up on the hills. On the next video. So we're miles away from there at the moment, but heading back generally in that direction.
Shadows all across us.
Shadows all across us, but we needed to get this finished so we can get the
next video out.
So I hope you enjoyed the video. And until next time, we'll say bye. But don't forget to
subscribe, like and share and all the other things. It's all free.
This is going to be jumbled up, isn't it? I'm pretty sure. All right, well, we'll say bye for now.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. It's going to go any minute if you don't hurry up.
Just stop pressurising it. It's going to be as good as it gets.
See, I'm not in the sun as it is.
Am I in the shop?
Neither of us. We're both in the shop, Paul, but neither of us are in the sun.
Right, well, you need to lean forward then a bit. Are you in the sun now?
No, I'm not.
Come on, you need to get much further forward then. Is that recording? Should be.
No.
Anyway, we'll forget that.
You've got a bar right down your face.
Right, okay.
Should we do this tomorrow morning?
No, we're not going to do it. I'll unzip the curtain.
Light for this, Paul. It is not good light for this. Right, I've got a big blob right in the middle of my face.
Oh, you're going to have to bend down a bit and get creative. What have I got? On my face now. Are we back? Are we okay now?
Well, we're blip.
Camera's still moving.
This is not a good time to do it.
I need to have it done now. It's not a case of good time or not.
Oh dear God.
Right, are we in there? We're pretty much. Are we in the light?
Yes,
right.
Quick. Let's go.
I think that's probably just.
Do.
I think it's just going to be a big ramble of.
Well, you kept jumping ahead of us.